At some point in time, bro, if God sees you not going toward that mission and you sitting there for too long, God will snatch that land of milk and honey away from you. Source energy will snatch it. And I'm saying, brother, I've gone through a period of life where it was snatched. And the reason I'm so passionate about this conversation is because, bro, I ain't telling you, this is not something you want to do. It's hell. Hey, these brothers. Let's talk about some real shit this morning, man. Let's talk about, I'll say this, man. Let's talk about decisions. Because us as men, man, especially us as forward moving men, like we are, right? Us as men, man, we have to make a lot of decisions in our life, man. Life altering decisions. Whether it's, coming out of high school, should we join the military? Should we go to college? Should we, should we move to a different city? Should we take this job? Like life altering decisions. But I can easily say this, man. Nothing, there's no decision that's going to have an impact on your life like the decision of what woman you're going to have in your life, right? Like the woman you're going to blend worlds with. That's a major decision, right? But an even more major decision besides that, man, is having made that decision to get with a woman. Now you have to make a decision if you should separate ties with the woman. To me, man, there's no other greater decision besides that. Should you separate ties from a woman? And when I say separate ties from a woman, I'm not just talking about just because. I'm saying you have to separate ties from a woman because now she's jeopardizing the mission. Now she's jeopardizing your marching orders. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no greater decision in it. And I'm telling you this, man, every single one of us, if we haven't already, will have to make that decision at least once. But odds are you're going to have to make that decision a number of times in your life, man. A number of times in your life, right? There's a brother I'm working with, bro. Powerful brother, man. And me and this brother were talking, we're just talking about, and when I say powerful, y'all know brothers know, when I say powerful, I'm talking about a man that knows who he is, knows where he's going, knows what his truth is, knows what his vision is, and he's executing on that. He's navigating through that. Powerful, about a brother that's moving through the world, living in the image. Is what I mean when I say that, right? Anyway, we're going through the nuts and bolts of his operation, nuts and bolts in life, and just trying to figure life out, man. Everything is like, boom, in order. But it's like, why is the storm over his life? Like, why is the storm doing what it's doing? And at the end of our conversation, man, we got to talk about him and his lady, because I'll bring that up last. He was just like, yeah, she's halfway in, she's halfway out. Yeah, she's still kind of in the picture, she's not. And at the end of the conversation, man, we were like, bro, and I'm not going to say it. We like, man, we already know what that is, man. Like at some point, again, every man understands that, you know what? I'm understanding that I'm jeopardizing my mission because I'm continuing to have a woman this particular woman in my life. And you got to understand, man, this conversation is kind of piggybacking off of the conversations we've had over the last few videos, right? Whereas, again, blending worlds, and you got to understand when a woman is coming to your life, whether it's karma, whether it's trauma, whether it's whatever, her life is coming into your life. So if you're trying to create a certain thing, unless she matches that vibration, that thing can't come to be. It can't come to be. Like you can go to Six Flags and try to get on the roller coaster, but if you don't meet the requirements, if you don't meet what needs to be met to get on that ride, you can't go. They can't let you on. So you can do all the meditating and praying and walking in the I am and chanting and be and all this stuff, man. All these beautiful things. If the person you've blended energies with is not on that same accord and you're attached to her, you cannot see that land of milk and honey. You can't see it. And if that land of milk and honey is part of God's plan, it's part of the mission you've been given, now you have a choice, brothers. Now you have to say, you know what? Am I going to fulfill my mission, what God told me to do? Or am I going to continue to love this woman that I love? She might have some toxic traits. She might have some this, but for some, I love this woman. You got to make a decision, bro. You have to make a decision, man. And again, bro, that's a decision, man. It's easier said than done. It's easier to be outside of a situation or relationship, looking at another man's situation and seeing what he needs to do. All of us can do that, man. I got a lot of partners, man. We talk about relationships, man, and I can see things that they can't see. Just like in my situation, people can see my situation better than I can see it because I'm in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like if you on the field playing a football game and somebody's in the bleachers, they got a way different perspective. They're saying, why didn't you make this cut? Why didn't you throw the ball to that receiver? It's like, well, bro, you got a bird's eye view. I'm on the field. So what I'm saying is a lot of times, man, we're in relationships, bro, and we won't make that decision on cutting a woman off because we're in the game. And a lot of times, man, I'm going to keep it 100. And that's why I made a video the other day. A lot of times, man, we'll literally be trying to save these women. And I'm not saying that from a place of simpish save these women. I'm saying you've gotten with a woman, you've seen some kind of potential in her, you found some kind of bond with her, and you want her to go to that land of milk and honey with you. But since you're so emotionally involved, since you're on the field and you're right there face to face with the situation, you can't really make that decision to cut ties. You can't make that decision to cut ties. And when I'm talking about that bond, man, I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. I can get online, man, and I can make videos about my situation, past relationships, and it's my truth. Like if I can identify a woman and she's tapped into a Jezebel spirit or whatever the case, it's my truth. It is what it is. But I'm gonna keep it 100, man. If I get with a woman, and I'm talking about women over my past, right? That woman has to have a certain amount of power. She has to have something inside of her that can get to my land of milk and honey. It's just a lot of women choose different paths, man. And and the thing is, that's where that pull comes in. That's where that divide comes in. Because if you're blending worlds with a woman and they veer left, then you got to recalibrate. And a lot of times you can't recalibrate, bro. You got to just separate ties. You got to separate ties, man. So again, bro, this is by far one of the greatest decisions, one of the most important decisions a man will have to make. And I'll be honest, man, most men won't make that decision. Most men will not. Every man will have to make this decision, but most men will not. When you see men that are in these marriages and these long relationships and they're miserable, their life is fruitless. They can't tap into source like they want to. They can't create, and they just settle. And you look up, man, you got these old men that's sitting on the couch, man, or sitting at the chair in Walmart, and they just like, you know what, happy wife, happy life. Like, I surrender. I had a mission back in my youth. I had a mission. I was going somewhere, but I fell in love and I got off course and I surrendered. That's why I'm always talking hierarchy, bro. God, mission, self, all that stuff is important. It's over everything. And if you aren't plugged into that, man, I'm going to tell you, you will make the wrong decision. You will make the wrong decision, brothers. But at the same time, man, it's like, I want to talk about this, bro. Because when we talk about these kind of things, we all, you know, it always seems like there's a toxic woman on the other end, or there's a Jezebel spirit we had to run from, right? It's not always the case. A lot of times, man, things cannot be that dark. And you as a man, you still have to make that decision. Right? Now I can get online, man, and I can talk about relationships in my past. I can talk about, you know, different scenarios, different dating experiences, but you never hear me talk about my ex-wife. I never talk about my ex-wife. And this is the person I met at 15 years old, 16 years old, and was married with, had a child with up until I was 30, 31. I never talk about her, man. Because her and our situations is different, man. And that's what I'm saying. It can always look different than having toxic ways. Sometimes people really just grow in different directions. Sometimes you can have two healthy people and they just grow in different directions. And when I talk about my ex-wife, man, this is the thing I trip out on. Like, like I hear guys talk about these stories about having kids with these women and and it's crazy and courts and can't see my child and I be like, bro, like y'all just chose the wrong one, man. Like the woman that I was married to, the woman that I had my child with, man. I'll be honest, man, and I don't think I've ever told her this. She's damn near my best friend in life. I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this, bro. This is the craziest thing. I can easily say that I could say it like this. If I had to jump out of a plane and somebody else was responsible for pulling my parachute, like if I trust one person on this planet, it's crazy, but it's my ex-wife. Like even though she's married, man, she has a beautiful family, loving husband, man, beautiful daughter, just a good life, right? Like, man, she's still a rider, bro. Like I still trust her like that, and we still got that bond like that. But long story short, so we got to a situation, man. Again, dating our whole youth, got married, kids, house, cars, vacations, the whole shebang. Life is good. But man, when I had my first initial awakening, it was a shift, bro. When I was in my mid-20s and I had my awakening where I was just like, whoa, I don't know what's going on, but the world is not the world. Truth is not the truth that I know exists. And we started going separate ways, man. I had to make a decision, bro. I had to make one of the most painful decisions in my life. Happy home, great jobs, beautiful wife, son just born, life is good, like life is on 10. I couldn't have drawn a better picture. But at the same time, that life was pulling me away from something God told me to do. Like the mission I'm on right now, I had to make a choice between this mission and that life back then. I had to make a choice because both couldn't reside together. And I'm gonna tell you, most men, especially when life is good, most men will forfeit that mission. But what I'm saying, brothers, is all I'm saying in a nutshell is mission has to be first. Mission has to be first. And if the woman in your life isn't on that page, it doesn't always mean she's a bad person. She can actually be a beautiful person and has her own mission or has her own reality she wants to fulfill. You still have to make your choice. And a lot of times, man, when I say it's a hard decision, bro, because a lot of times you might meet a woman. Let's say y'all do have kids, or let's say she has kids and you form a bond with her kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's going to take a lot of people being hurt. It's going to take you being hurt. It's going to take you going through some dark times. Because I understood when I left back when I was married, I understood that when I got divorced, I understood that before I got to where I am right now, I was fully aware that my life is going to take a nosedive first. Like before it gets to the land of milk and honey, I'm going through some dark spaces. I knew that. And all I'm saying, man, is we have to be men. But when I say mission oriented, bro, that's everything. Like if you aren't living to fulfill some kind of mission, bro, I promise you not living. I promise you. And when I say that, man, when I say that, what I mean is if you aren't living your life, and this might go down a whole nother topic, but it's still the same topic. If you aren't living your life in every single day, not even every single day, brother, every hour of the day, you aren't thinking about whatever you're doing, going toward a mission, going toward an end goal, not just for yourself, but for mankind. I'm only talking to a few of y'all brothers now. man. I'm going to say it again, bro. If you aren't waking up every single day, in every hour of that day, you aren't thinking about accomplishing a goal, not only for source, but to make mankind better, brother, you don't know what fulfillment is. You don't know what fulfillment is. And all I'm saying is, man, we can't let anything in our lives jeopardize that mission. And I can easily say, man, that a lot of times in life, I'm gonna tell you this. There are gonna be some times in life, man, where you have to cut some things loose. There's been times in my life, man, where I had to sell some vehicles. I had man, there was a point in time, man, where I had to sell off my my jacked up truck. I had to sell off my 95 Impala. I had to sell off my the Hayabusa motorcycle and my four wheelers. There was time where I had to get rid of assets, bro. But nothing compares to having to get rid of that woman in your life. That's a challenge, bro. That's a challenge. So again, man, mission has to be over everything because nothing can jeopardize that. Nothing can jeopardize that. And and I've shared times with y'all recently. I've shared times in y'all back in 2018, I believe. When I told y'all I made a conscious decision to forfeit my mission. I made a conscious decision to forfeit my mission to remain in vibration with a woman. And the only reason I speak so strong about this, brother, is because I'm telling you, I understand the consequences behind it. I understand that there's going to be I'm going to say it like this, and this is what it's going to be like. There's going to be a point in time. This is what it's going to be like, bro. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. There's going to be a point in time in your life where you love this woman. You have your vision. Everything's mapped out. You're going toward the land of milk and honey. You find a woman to attach to, and she might not be on the up and up as far as your knowledge, your connection with God, but or just her femininity. But you see something in her. You see greatness in her. You see where if she can remain aligned to you, she will be the perfect mate for that. Regardless of what the world sees and says, you see something in her. And the thing is, a lot of times, man, us as men, we'll try our hardest to teach this woman, to guide this woman, to direct this woman. Not, and low key just trying to get her prepared to fulfill the mission. And a lot of times we will get that resistance where she can't maintain. And a lot of times we'll stand there for too long, man. A lot of times we'll stand there for too long and catch that, whether it's karma catching up with her, whether it's a tower in life falling because time has ran out, and we won't leave that mission because we're trying to bring her, right. And I'm not sure how I lost my goddamn train of thought where I was going with that, right? Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Or a lot of times, man, we'll just straight up choose to stay with her. We'll just choose to straight up stay with her, man. And I'm telling you, bro, when I say, because you gotta understand, man, and I've been talking about this, once or twice the last few videos when I'm saying everything is happening in the third dimension, but there's a whole nother spiritual, pieces of data taking place. At some point in time, bro, if God sees you not going toward that mission and you sitting there for too long, God will snatch that land of milk and honey away from you. Source energy will snatch it. And I'm saying, brother, I've gone through a period of life where it was snatched. And the reason I'm so passionate about this conversation is because, bro, I'm telling you, this is not something you want to do. It's hell. When I talk about one time where I've been to hell, it was where I made that decision I failed to make that decision to leave a situation. And bro, it cost me everything. It cost me my peace, my happiness, my money, my assets, my harmony in life. But ultimately, it cost me my connection with God, bro. There was a 1.5 2-year period of my life where my life looked normal on the outside. My life might have looked normal on the outside. I might have been smiling. I might have been driving something nice. But on the inside, bro, I was in hell. On the inside, man, I was screaming for God to connect with me, man. And I was the one that had severed those ties. Source energy didn't abandon me. I'd abandoned myself. I'd abandoned myself by not staying on path. I'd abandon myself, man, by choosing a woman over mission. And this is not even about all women or this, women or that. It's about us and our decisions. It's like we can try to bring somebody on board for so long, man, but whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're toxic, whether they're just on a different path, at some point, man, we have to sever ties, bro. I put that on my life, man. The things and the energy that I felt when I didn't make that right decision, I don't wish it on my worst enemy. In other words, if there's a man on this planet that can't stand me, that wants to see me in the grave today, I don't put that energy on him. It's emptiness, man. It's a void on steroids. And to be honest, a lot of men never come back from that. A lot of men, if they don't submerge themselves in that spirit side of themselves, you can't come back from it. Because now, you know, when you're moving forward, you have balance. But when you're stripped of that God essence, when you abort mission, brother, now all you have is ego. All you have is ego. Because the spirit has been subdued. The spirit has been blinded from you. I might be losing some of y'all, bro. Y'all let me know if I need to slow down, man. But I'm talking about some real shit. When you choose a woman over mission, God will come in and say, okay, you know what? This golden side that you were born with, you don't want to use that? You don't want to connect to the Christ side of yourself? You want to choose something in this earthly realm over the marching orders I've given you? Okay, let me hold that. And now you're straight ego. Spiritual side, you can't even see it no more. So the only way to get out of it, for brothers that are in that right now, the only way to get out of that, man, being that you're full ego, is you have to straight crucify that ego then. And that's a challenge. You have to straight crucify that ego at that point. That's why most men can't come out of it. That's why most women can't come out of it. To crucify your ego? Because what that looks like is, this is why people can't come out of it. What it looks like is, it's saying, okay, world. Oh, okay, world. Y'all got me. This is the image I've been portraying. This is the life I've been showing you that I live, but on the inside, I'm empty. And what a person has to do, when I say crucify that self, is say, you know what? Take that mask off. Take that hat off. And subdue that ego. And subduing that ego means, going back to what I was saying earlier, now you got to sell off some assets. Now you got to get rid of some things in your life. Now you got to move out of that 5,000 square foot house and move into that 1-bedroom apartment. I had to do all that stuff, man. I had to crucify my ego to get to where I am now. One whole time I didn't have to do that. Like where I am right now, I could have been where I am right now 4 or 5 years ago. But I made the wrong choice. I made the wrong choice, bro. And it cost me a lot, man. And the only reason I'm talking about this, man, is because I don't want y'all brothers that are in that same situation to do this shit, man. I'm telling you, I don't wish this on y'all brothers. But if you are in that situation, man, to get out of it, man, you got to subdue it. You got to crucify that ego and submerge yourself fully in spirit. When the world is looking at you laughing, saying, oh, man, well, you done lost all this, man. Well, you used to stay on the good side of town. Now you're doing this. Or you used to move like this, and now you're saying, I'm taking my mask off. This is who I am. I'm living. This is my authenticity. This is who I am. And once you show that face, now God begins to come back. He said, oh, okay, now you're back in place where you can hear me now. And I'm going to tell you, once you go through that once, brothers, you will never do it again. You will never do it again. But when you see men living under bridges and in misery, those are the men that made that decision and never came back from it. So you can lose it. You can go to hell and come back, man, but it's hard, bro. It's hard, but if you do and you come back, you'll be refined. It'll never happen again. And that first time it happened, man, I've had women in my life, man, where it's like, hey, I'm trying to go to a certain place. Oh, and I'll hold on. And it gets to a point where I say, you know what? My world is about to crumble. My world is about to collapse. The floor below me is about to disintegrate if I don't make some kind of play. And life will just get hectic and things might play, you know. I'm going to tell you, bro, it's not a game, man. It's not a game. So all I'm saying is this, brothers. All I'm saying is, at some point in your life, it might be now, you might be single now. At some point in your life, you're going to meet a certain woman, man, and if she isn't on board, you're going to have to make a decision. Or it could be right now. You could be watching this video right now in bed, laying on your back, and a woman right beside you, sleep, snoring, is the culprit. It is the thing you're holding on to that's keeping your world from doing what it's supposed to do. Because like I said, man, and like I tell this, but like I tell all brothers, you can do all, like we can talk meditation, we can chant, we can I am, 4 levels of becoming, we can talk all this God talk, bro. But if you're still holding on to something, if you're still holding on to a woman that has a world that doesn't match that world you're going to, it'll never happen, bro. It'll never happen.